Good to have you with us. Good morning, Heidi Hirsch. Tell us about what we're in the midst of here. Why this dramatic loss?
Good morning, Jane. Thank you. So yeah, we are in the middle of a mass extinction at the moment in on our planet, and due to human actions, we are losing species, not only plant species, on an alarming rate, which are hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, higher than the normal extinction rates in the past.
And tell us more about what sort of activity we are taking part in that is exacerbating this decline.
So as we found, for example, in our study for biodiversity hotspots, one of the main drivers for extinction is agriculture. But on second place was also urbanization, invasive species which are taking over and replacing native species. But there are many other factors as well. It's also in general habitat destruction, disturbance of natural systems, utilization of rare plant species when they are collected in the wild, and so forth. So it's the sum of our actions, how we impact ecosystems and disturb basically the natural balance in these systems.
And I believe, I mean, obviously you can see it for yourself, but you've been studying 300 years of data. Tell us what that tells us and what we can learn from that.
So yeah, we were looking at the time frame of 300 years, that's right. And that just shows us, 300 years ago, this extinctions just slowly grow up, and we have a spike of extinction rates around in the 1900s, which is also called the Great Acceleration, which happened since around the 1950s. Which means there is an extensive growth of human activity, so a boom of industrialization, the extent of agricultural space, the growth of urban areas, and so forth. So what it tells us is actually that we have to change our way of thinking and also our responsibility to natural systems, because we are highly depending on nature. We are part of it, and at the end everything is linked with each other. So if we don't take care of our nature and the species which are co-occurring with us, we will actually pay a high price at the end, because if the system collapses, the survival of humankind
collapse with them, don't we?
Well.
And Heidi, okay, so how, I mean, we can't stop development, obviously. You've got to change mindset, educate. But what do we need to do now to slow the demise?
So the things we can do now, I think one of the major things what needs to be done is education, to make people aware of the value of ecological systems and the species which share the planet with us together. We also need more progressive leadership on a political level, more rigorous policies which enforce the protection of natural systems. We also should contact or consult specialists, for example, in urban development projects. For example, here in the Western Cape or in South Africa especially, there is a group of volunteers which is called Karoo, or the custodians of rare and endangered plant species. So it would be good to just get in contact with these specialists and to ask them before areas are bulldozed for new parking slots or shopping malls, what impact it actually would have on the on an ecological level. And then I think in general we all need to change our way of thinking. So we should shift away from short-term gains like making profit and having a certain standard, life standard, and so on. So we should actually focus on the long-term gains of our actions, which is also more a sense of community on local but national as well as global level.
Good to have you on the show, Heidi Hirsch. Thank you.